Hi, I'm Jeannie Kelly, your credit coach, and I'm going to share a cup of coffee with you today on Credit Over Coffee. And I wanted to remind you we're at the 6 month checkup time when it comes to financial habits. A lot of times we focus in the new year, right, of our credit goals and our financial goals. And as each month goes by, maybe we're getting distracted and we're not staying focused on goals we set. It happens to all of us, definitely happens to me. So, as I'm reminding you about this is the 6 month checkup time, I'm reminding myself, to be honest with you. And things do change. What we planned out, it might all sound fabulous, but then life gets in the way, right? And some things we didn't plan could happen. So we got to navigate and pivot, and I want to make sure you are starting this 6 month check in financial point with looking at your credit report. You have to look at what's being reported about you. You can do this with, on my website, I have a credit snapshot. You can do that way. You can go to annualcreditreport.com and get a free copy of your credit report from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Again, when you are looking at your credit report, whether it's the snapshot, whether it's going to that site, what if you want to know your FICO score and you go to myfico.com and get your FICO score with your credit report, when you're requesting your report, it's not hurting your credit score. I hear that a lot. People will be afraid to pull their own credit because they don't want any points to be taken away. Not when you're looking at your credit. So don't worry about that. Take your time and make sure it's correct. I'm a big fan and I talk about credit protection all the time. I want to make sure you're the CEO of your identity, not just your credit report, your entire identity. And that's why I'm always talking about, services that I use on my website. There's info, but I'll put a link in as well. But my point is, only you really know what belongs on your credit report. So, yes, I have these plans to protect my identity. I still have to look at my own report and make sure, are these addresses belonging to me? Is my name spelled correctly? Uh, did this account that has been paid off for a while, is it showing correct? Is there a zero balance? My payment history, is that correct? In the inquiry section, where there's inquiries saying I requested to get a loan or credit card, is that information correct? So you really, you got to get out that highlighter and take your time, because your credit is a big part of your finances. We use credit every day. Sometimes we're not thinking about it, but where you live might be because of your credit. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. And what I mean by that is, I got into this industry because I had bad credit. So when I was living, in the cottage, uh, I couldn't rent anywhere else, right? So that's where I was until I could build better credit to get out of that, get out of the cottage, right? I'm grateful for that time in the cottage. I'm just saying, right? So your credit, I was there because I needed time to build better credit to move to a different rental, right? And then from that rental, even though I wasn't thinking maybe about credit every single day, not like at the cash register for every swipe, your life is a big part is regarding credit. And it's because when I wanted my house and I wanted to purchase that from the rental, it did, it had to do with my credit. Then when I was in that house, a lot had to do with my credit, right? And then I think about getting to work. What car you're driving might have to do with your credit. But after you sign that loan, you might not be thinking every time you start up your car and you're driving to work that you should be still thinking about credit in a healthy way, right? So I'm just saying, I want you to think about that during the 6 month checkup. It's not just credit, is not to just cost you money, it's to save you money. When you start using credit in a healthy way, when your credit score is a good score, and let's say it used to be not so good, Now, for what you were paying for the not so good is helping you. And a lot of times you're not thinking of things except for when you're signing those papers, right? What about your credit costing you when it comes to insurance? A lot of insurance products you're paying for, you might be paying a higher rate for that insurance because of your credit. And you could be thinking, are you what? But insurance, why would that? But it is. Call your insurance today. Find out if if you have great credit. Make sure that your insurance is matching that and that you're getting a good rate. And also, a lot of times, not all times, there's some jobs, some employment that could look at your credit report, not your score. Okay. But the information on your credit report. And is that holding you back from getting that job? Right. Or whatever career path you're in. Can you not get in that because of the credit situation you're in? So during this time, we want to make sure you have the best credit you can. So the only way you know is by looking at your credit report. And this may sound repetitive. It's my number one tip, pulling your credit report. I say it over and over. Probably if you've been listening to my podcast, you'll know it's my number one tip, but it is for a very important reason. And what about looking at your credit report for the things that shouldn't be on there? And maybe you did look at it last quarter, and maybe there's something new on there that doesn't belong to you. How does People will ask me all the time, how can this information get on my credit report when it's not correct? Well, things happen, inaccuracies happen. That's why you are able to dispute information. And all three credit bureaus, credit reporting agencies do not share information. So if you see something on your Experian, right, and you resolve it with them, I've had a lot of people say, well, now it's resolved, right? It'll make sure it's off TransUnion Equifax. Not unless you also contacted them. So take your time, get out your highlighter, and look at your credit report from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion and make sure the information is correct. And if it's not, contact them separately. But do this so you are making sure when you look at your credit report, everything on there is accurate. And if you need help, you know, reviewing your credit report, go online to I have so many programs and so much information on my website, jeanniekelly.net, where if you go into the blogs, you'll see a lot of information about reading the credit reports, how to build healthier credit. Many people are wanting to build business credit. All that information is on my website. But today is my check in point with you to just make sure for this 6 month financial checkup time that you don't forget to also look at your credit report. So tell me, and here's the thing, here's what I really want to know. After you look at your report, can you message me and let me know if everything was correct and that nothing has changed? Everything on your report is correct, because I've been in this credit industry for over 20 years. And I know people come to me because of credit issues, but do you know I've never in 20 years looked at a credit report without finding some mistake on it. And it might not be hurting a credit score, but it's still a mistake that shouldn't be on the credit report. So I'm just wondering, when you look at yours, can you let me know, hey, my credit report was 100% accurate? I'd love to find someone who has a report that everything on the report is accurate. I'd love to hear from you. So let me know. It makes me feel good knowing that people are listening and they are looking at their credit report. So message me. You'll find me on Instagram, Credit Jeannie. And until next time. And I will say, let me add with this month, you will see on Credit Over Coffee, I have a podcast with Fat Man Scoop. So please tune in. I'm looking forward to sharing that interview with you. We dive deep into his history regarding credit, building better credit, and I'm excited to share that with you. Have a great day.